Measures of central tendency, there are three. Okay, there are three measures of central tendency. We have got what's called the mean. Now, the mean in grade 89, you were told that it's also called the average. Okay, it's like, for example, if I add all your marks for term 2, then I divide by 26, I'll get the what? The mean or the average for the class. So we add all the marks, we get a sum, and we divide by the number of people in this class. There are 26 of you, then I'll get the what? The average. Okay. In everyday life, we don't use the word mean, but we use the word what? Average. But in statistics, we don't use the word average, we use the word mean. You understand the difference there? For a layman in the street, if you go there and tell and ask them, can you calculate the mean? They might not be able to understand what you mean by the mean. Okay, but you say calculate the what? The average. But in statistics, we don't normally use the word average, we use the word mean. Okay? All right. Then we also have what's called the median. You have heard about this before. What do you remember about median? Do you remember about the median? Okay, the median is actually is the value of the data set which lies in the middle after you've arranged it in ascending or descending order. Okay, so if I take your math marks for term 2 and I arrange them from the smallest to the largest, right? Then listen, then since you are 26 of you, right? It means I am gonna need the 13th mark and the 14th mark. Then I'll add the 2 and divide by what? By 2. Then I'll get the what? The median. That is only because the number of learners in this class here, they are even. If it's odd, you just go to the middle value of the data set. Then you locate your what? Your median. Right? Then we also have what's called the mode. Right? Now, you were taught this as well in grade 9. Now, the mode is the number which appears most often in a data set. Like, for example, let's say there are say maybe in this class, out of 26 of you, there are 5 people who have got 35%, for example. Right? That 35% is going to become the what? The mode, because most people would have got that specific mark. Right? So your mode is actually the number which appears most often. Okay? The mode is the number which appears most often in a data set. All right? Okay? Now, let's come back to the mean. Now, the mean, if you're calculating it, it has got a formula, but your calculators, they are advanced, they can do the calculation. So, based on your previous knowledge, the mean is always equal to the sum, it's equal to the sum of all the values. I've already told you this, okay, divided by the total number of values. So we add all your marks here for term 2, divide by 26. The sum is the one that will be the numerator, and then the number of learners in the class, in this case you have about 26 of you, we divide that by 26. But generally we denote the mean by x bar. Okay, the notation used for the mean is x bar. You are going to see that on the calculator. So you write x, a small x, then you put a horizontal line on top of the x. That's the notation for the mean. All right? This will be equal to sigma. You already know what sigma stands for, right? From your sequences and series. Okay, sigma stands for sum. So the sum of all the values divided by the number of values. So this is the formula which can be used to calculate the mean. Okay, but in most cases you will use your calculator, which I'll show you later on. Right? Remember, the symbol sigma, it tells us that you are adding values. That is, you are summing up values. Okay, so I've just spoken about the mean. Now, the way you calculate the mean, this this formula here, this formula here, it's for what's called ungrouped data. Okay? This formula that I just gave you is for what's called ungrouped data. Like, for example, if I just take your marks and I list your marks as they are, that would be ungrouped data. But if I start putting your marks in groups, that is intervals, it will be called grouped data. So here we are dealing with a case where the data set is ungrouped. Okay? If your data set is ungrouped, then we use this formula. Okay, please allow me to carry on. Yes? Which one? Yes. This is the notation for the mean. It's x with a small line on top. Okay, can you allow me to move on, please? Because we don't have too much time. Okay, so the median. No. The median. Now, I've already told you that the median is the middle value, okay, when you arrange a data set in ascending or descending order. In most cases, the data set is arranged in ascending order, that is from the smallest towards the largest. Okay? Right? So if the data set uh, is odd, you just arrange the data set from smallest to largest or vice versa, then you identify the middle value of that data set. That will be your median. Right? If it's even, you just have to identify the two values in the middle of the data set, you calculate their average. Okay? But I also want to give you some formula which can help you to determine the position, okay, or to determine the median position. So, the median position, please take note that this is not the median itself, but it is the position of the median. It will always equal to n over 2. Or so it will be equal, let's use, let's start with the first case where it's odd. It will be equal to half times n plus 1. That's the position of the median. Okay? Okay? Now, this one here, you see this n here, okay? This n here is just the number of values in the data set. Okay. The n is the number of values in the data set. Okay? N is the number of values in the data set. So the median position is equal to half equal to n plus 1. Okay? But now we have to specify here that is this for the odd case or is it for the even case? Okay? Can you sit straight? Do you want to go or do you need to go out? There are lots of bad in this school. Lots of them. Okay, so if you've got a data set which is even, for example, let's say you have got 2, 4, 6, 8, maybe I'll say 10, right? Like that. Okay? Now, by observation, the median is going to be what? It's going to be 6, which is the third value in the data set. Am I right? Yes. Right? But now, what if you have got 40 values of them? It's easier when you've got a small data set like this. But when it's a large value of uh, of numbers, then you are going to end up having problems because to arrange them in order correctly, and then you end up trying to determine which one is in the middle. It will take you what? Long. So we can use the formula here. So if the data set is odd, I'm sure you can see here, for us to get 3, remember, 6 in its position is what? 3. So how can you get 3? We just say n, which is equal to what? 5. We put 5 here. Then you add 1, you get what? 6. What is 6 divided by 2? Or 6 times a half gives you a 3. So this formula here, you only use it when the data set is odd. Okay? So use this when the data set is odd. So this will be for odd data set. Okay? Are you following?
Yes, sir. What did you say?
N is the number of values in the data set. Like for example here, I only wrote 5. So N is going to be what? 5. In this class, how many are you? 26. N is what? 26. Okay? Yes. So for the even data set now generally the median position, okay, it's equal to n over 2. Okay, this is for even data set. Okay. Now with the even case now, what happens is if I give you, say, these values here, let me say 20, 25, 30, 40. Right, okay, let me just write 4 only because I don't have too much time. Now, if I want to ask you, what's the median of these 4 values? What answer would you give?
4 or 2.
It will be what?
2.
Huh?
2.
No.
Oh, no.
What's the median?
Oh,
2. So you add these two, the two middle values, then you divide by what? By 2. So if you use this formula here, we have got 4, then you end up dividing by what? So it will be 4 divided by what? By 2. You get to this value here. But is this value in the middle? No. So you have to add this value here plus the next one to it. Right? Then you find a what? A mean or an average of those two values that are in the middle. So in this case, we add these two, then you divide by what? By 2. The answer you get, that will be the what? The median of that data set. Okay. Now we can also find the median by putting the data set in the calculator. I'll also show you that later when I do a proper example. Okay? Yes.
For the second one, you also still use which end?
N is the meaning of n is the number of values in the data set.
You must say 4 divided by 2.
Yes, but the problem now is 25 in the middle.
No.
Then I'm saying since the data set is even, you then consider the next value to the one which you determine its position from the formula.
You see, everyone is
Listen, let's not complicate things here. First, listen, what's the definition of median? It is the value which lies in the middle of the what? Of the data set. The problem comes if the data set is even, right? You have to identify what? Two values in the middle of the data set. So if you have got four, which two values are in the middle? Yes, then you add the two, you divide by what? By two. If the data set is odd like this, it's very straightforward because six is okay. This position here, okay, for this case, this position will not help you entirely, but it will only help you to identify a value such that it will be the first one that you consider, and then the next one which is next to it.
so okay, let's say if because this is interesting order. So let's say for example the 40 is for the 30. Then
You can't find the median when your data set is not arranged. You arrange it first.
so that is nothing how
Because it will take you long. It will take you long. Remember, okay, listen, okay, can I just say this? Kize? If you want to find the median, the first thing that you must do is to check if the data set is arranged from smallest to largest, or from what? From largest to smallest. Right? These are just simple examples that I just showed you here. I've already arranged the values. If you look at them, I actually wrote them from smallest to what? To largest.
I thought the formula helps you to find the position even when it's not.
No, no. You can't find the position without arranging. You can't. Yes. When it's yes, you always have to arrange the data set when you're finding the median. Because okay, let's say if I give you, can I have your attention? You are 26 of you. If I were to write all your marks down, okay, and I don't arrange them in order, do you know that it will take you a bit of some time to start arranging those values and then to end up determining the what? The median. Now, when you're finding the median, you always have to arrange the data set in ascending order. Can you stop that? Stop that. Right? When you want to find the median, you always have to arrange your data set in ascending order first. Then the next step is to determine whether the data set is even or it is what? Odd. If it's odd, then it's very, very easy to identify the median. Okay? You just use this formula which I told you to determine the position. After finding the position, you just locate that position and then you find the value. If the data set is even, you need to identify a first value and the one next to it so that you can be able to add the two and divide by what? By 2. All right, I'll show you later in a proper example. And then the mode, can I have your attention please? Then your mode now, it is the, the, the value which appears most often. Can I have the phone? No. No, please, can I have the phone? All right. So the mode is the value which appears most frequently in a data set. Okay? Like example, if there are 10 people in this class with the same mark, right? Whatever mark it will be, that will be the mode for those marks. Okay? So Okay, in that case now we have a case where we have got that's called a bimodal case now. It's called a bimodal case, which means we have two what? Two modes. Okay, you can also have more than two, and then that's the case where you've got what's called multimodal case. No, when you are finding the mode, you are not calculating anything. You are just identifying which value appears most frequently. That's all. No calculation. Okay? Now, you can't use your calculator to determine the mode, but you can use your calculator to determine the mean. You can use your calculator to determine the median. Huh? Yeah, if there's no mode, then there's no mode. It's not always, listen, it's not always that you get a mode for a data set. Sometimes there won't be a value which appears more than other values. So in that case, if you get a question like that and they are asked to determine the mode, if it's not there, you just write no what? No mode. Okay. All right. I need to move on to an example. No, it can be. The number you get has to be between the two middle values. It can't be lower than any of the two. Okay, you can't. Please make sure you pay attention because the use of a calculator is very important in statistics. Right? So if we want to use our calculator before we start going over the question, please go to mode. Go to mode. Then start. Okay, in this case it's number 3 for me. Right? Now, since we are going to calculate the mean for a single data set, you choose 1 minus VAR. Okay, that is option 1. Can you look, please? Hey, look there, and you must have your calculator with you. So you choose option 1. Are you following there?
Yes.
So if you choose option 1, it gives you one column to enter your what? Your data set. Are you following there?
Yes.
Okay, so let's do number 1. Please do me a favor. When I'm doing it, do it as well. Because later when you do grade 12 stats, we are going to use another option under the statistics option on the calculator. And you need to know the difference in preparation for your examination. Okay, so I'm going to go over 1A. Okay, so let's calculate the mean. Now, if you want to calculate the mean, okay, remember the formula is x bar is equal to summation of x over n. Okay, now you can't put in your calculator 2 plus 5 plus 8 plus 4 and so on, and then you get the answer. You don't have to do that. So let's just put it in the calculator straight away. So take out your calculator. So in this case, we have got 2, then we have got 5, we've got 8, then 4, and then 3, and then another 4, and then we have got 7, and then 6, then 2, and then 4, and then another 4. So in total, we have, and then you must press AC. Okay? Can you pay attention, please? Can you pay attention? Once you finish putting the data set, okay, you got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. Okay, there are 11, right? Once you put in the data set, okay, in the calculator, you must press AC. Right? Once you press AC, all the data will be stored in the calculator. Are you following that?
Yes.
Right? So for now, let's try to arrange this because I need to show you how to determine the median using the calculator and doing it manually. Right? Let's arrange this data set. Okay? You can also help me. So the smallest here is 2. Then how many 3's do we have? 1. And how many 4's? 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have got 4 4's. There are 2 2's, yes. So let me add the 2 there. Right? So we have got 2 2's. We have got 1 3. We have got 4 4's. And 5's. We have got 1 5. Alright? And then 6, we have got 1. And then 1 7.
1 8.
And then we have got 1 8. Are you following that?
Yes.
Why am I arranging the data set? Because I want to determine the what?
The median.
The median. You can't find the median without rearranging the data set. Okay? Alright? So let's calculate the mean. Now, if you want to calculate the mean, your calculator can give you the numerator here. You see this numerator, summation of x. Okay? So let's go to the calculator. Let's go to the calculator. So you press shift. Can you pay attention, please? Do it as I am doing it. Right? Press shift. Then you go to 1 where it says start. See here. 1 there. Say start. Then you press 1. Are you following there?
You press the time.
You press shift. Then you click on 1. Here, where there is a 1 there. You must get those options, the ones that I have.
Yes.
Have you all done that? Do you see that?
Yeah.
Right? Now, I just want the sum. Okay? The sum. The sum is the numerator, remember, in the formula. So, I'll just click on number what? Number 5. Okay. Wait. I made a mistake. Can you relax, please? So number 1 is what? 3. All right. Now, this is extremely important.
Now you press 2.
Now, this is summation x squared. Can you pay attention, please? Can you pay attention? This is summation x squared. We don't want this summation x squared. We want summation x. Okay? So, we click on number what? 2. Click on number 2. Then you press equals. You get what? 49. Are you following there?
Yes.
Right. So we put what? 49 there. Then you divide by how many? 11. Right? Now, if you want, you can just divide 49 over 11. Then you will round off your answer, right, to 2 decimal places. But your calculator can also calculate the answer for you. Okay? So, just go to shift again. Then 1. Then, now in this case, if you want the mean now, you go to number 4, VAR. You see number 4 here?
Yes.
Then you go to number 4. Then you get these 4 options. Now, among these 4 options, we are mainly concerned with 1, 2. Now, later we are going to do 3. That's for grade 11 now. Okay? Option 3 is for grade 11. This N here, can I have your attention, is the number of values which I entered, which are what? 11. So if I click on 1, it will tell me that the 11 values that you entered.
Yes.
If I click on 2 now, that's X bar, which is the what? The mean. So I'll click on what? Number 2. Right? Then I'll press equals. So our mean there to 2 decimal places will be 4, what? 4, 5. Right? So this will be 4, 4, 5.
I did that by just about 11, right?
Yeah.
But how did my press AC again?
No, you don't press it. You only press AC once at the beginning after entering it. For this one, if you press AC there, you want to do that. You just go to shift and go to 1. You can revert back. Be very careful pressing AC once you enter your data set. But it's fine, you can press it as well. Okay, let's test it. Okay, let's test what happens if I press AC. Receive. Let me press AC. Right? If I click on AC there, right, I've cleared my screen. But the option for start is still there, which means my information should be still there. I'm gonna check that. So I'll press shift. Then if I press 1, if I choose any of the options, then number 3 or number 4, let me choose number 3. So if I choose number 3, then I'll choose number 2, then I'll press equals. So my data set is still there. So it means you can press AC, but I don't encourage it though, but if you want to, you can do that. Right? Okay? Are you following that? Right? Let's find the median. Right? The median now. So we need the median. So the median is gonna be equal to. Now this data set is not very large. So how many values do we have? 11. So you can use the formula median position, right? It's going to be equal to now times n plus 1. Please, this is median position, it's not the median. Okay? So this will be a half times 11 plus 1, which is going to be equal to a half times 12, which gives you what? 6. What this means is I must go to the 6th position. So I count here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So fortunately, my median is a 4, but there are other values that are also 4s. So in this case here, it's very straightforward. Yes, the median is a what? Is a 4. The median is not 6. 6 is the position of the median in the data set. Are you following that?
Yes.
All right. Now, let me show you how to use a calculator to determine that median. Your calculator can find it for you. Okay, yes.
Will they ever mix it up with number patterns and giving this value?
Sometimes you may be given the mean, then one value will be missing. Right? That can also be an examinable question. Okay, quickly please, because I don't have too much time, I just need to show you this. All right, let's go to shift, then 1. Can I have your attention? A. Can I have your attention? All right. Remember, I told you that the calculators that some of you have, it's a grade 8 to 9 calculator. Right? How many of you have got an option like number 6? Just raise your hand on your calculator. Hey, raise your hand if you have got option number 6. Yes. Do you have option number 6 that is min-max?
Yes.
Do you all have it?
Yes.
Don't worry about the position 6, but as long as you've got this min-max, depending on your calculator, maybe it's option 5 and so on.
Yeah.
Do you all have min-max?
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, if you go to it, if you click on it, right, it will give you those 5 options. Right? Are you following?
Yes.
Now, these 5 options here, they are called, listen, they are called the 5-number summary. They are called the 5-number summary. They are very important. I'm going to talk about them tomorrow. Right? But for today, I just want to show you how to find the median. So you click on the median, which is number 4 there. Then you press it. You don't That's X bar. All right. You are laughing. You are laughing. Please stop laughing because this is very serious. All right. How many of you have been median on their calculator? How many of you have got median? Okay, we've got Tando, we've got Antispa, and then we've got Nonokona. So we are telling you that.
Glossary.
And glossary. Now, what that means is if you don't have that option, you probably have to sell your calculator. So our median is equal to what? To 4. So I've shown you two ways of finding the median. Using the original data set and also using the what? The calculator. Now, there is no mark allocated for the method you use to determine the what? The median. So if your calculator can do it for you, it means quickly you can write the what? The answer down. What it means to buy a new calculator? And you bought a wrong one. See this calculator? Alright, wait. What's the mode? 4. The mode is what? 4. It's gonna be 4. Okay? Yeah. The mode is what? 4.